as you research and you really see what the day-to-day of starting that business looks like or changing to that different career field looks like, you can cross things off your list where you say, oh, that doesn't sound like that's something I want after all. And I think when you whittle it down, now you're looking at one or two options, and you do that research and you have those informational interview calls and you really gain that confidence to take that next step. And I think that research equals confidence.
Hi, everyone. This is Katana Abbott, and I want to welcome you to Smart Women Talk. Almost 60% of workers say they are looking to make a career change right now, and about a quarter of them say they've already had success, which is great news. But changing careers can bring up a lot of fear. So if you feel stuck and you want to know how to transition successfully into that second act, then you're in the perfect place, because today I'm speaking with second act career coach Shannon Russell, and we're going to talk about how to change your career to change your life. So we're going to talk about things like how change is an opportunity, how to recognize and leverage your skills into that next act, and then how to design your own personal roadmap from getting from where you are now to where you want to go. Shannon, welcome to Smart Women Talk.
Thank you so much for having me.
Why don't we just start with what is a second act?
For me, a second act is just starting over in any capacity and realizing that you can take your experience from your first act and start something new that fulfills you.
So many times people get their first job, they start a career, and then they stay in that for the rest of their life. And there could even be pressure from outside people in their family to keep them there because it's secure and that's what you went to school for. We hear this kind of stuff all the time, but sometimes there's a calling. You've created second act careers. What was your journey that brought you to this?
Yeah, I had a dream since I was very little that I wanted to work in Hollywood. I wanted to work in television in some capacity, and I achieved it. I became a television producer, and I worked in New York City and LA. And I did that for 16 years, and it was fantastic. I loved everything about what I did, really producing the TV that you see on your screens. And then I became a mom, and that's when things started changing because my husband is a producer as well. And we work really long hours, we travel. It's a very high-paced career field. And then having my first son, I realized, ooh, I don't know if I can do this. And cut to a couple years later, I was pregnant with my second son, and I had already missed a first birthday. I missed a first Halloween, and I was missing these things. And I just had this epiphany, this aha moment when I was about 8 months pregnant with my second little one. And I said, I don't want to miss anything else. I think I can check the box on being a television producer. I did it. I was successful. There's not much else I want to do in that field. I want to start something else. And I use that as a moment to figure out what that second act is. And it was a lot of soul searching, but it got me to a place where I said, I want to take all of my experience, all of these skills, and launch something new for myself. And that's where the adventure began.
There's stepping stones to this quite often, right?
Absolutely. And I always admit that I did a couple of things wrong. I tried to do what I thought I needed to do for my family because we definitely needed a 2-income household. And so I took a 9-to-5 job close to home so I could be close to my kids. Absolutely hated it. I joined a master's degree program so I could become a teacher, thinking that was a stable and right thing to do. And I knew that wasn't for me. So after a lot of soul searching, about a year or so in between, I decided to open my own business, thinking that my production skills in TV could lead to producing, building a business. And I bought into a franchise. So I became a franchisee, and that was amazing. I was able to be with my kids. I operated that franchise for 8 years. I recently sold it. And it really was the perfect stepping stone to get into business. And then a few years into that business, I started Second Act Coaching.
I think what you're talking about is very scary for women. Let's talk about the fears they have, because it could be that they have people who are pressuring them to stay, like you, telling you you're crazy, right?
Yep.
Or they could just be fearful that how in the heck can I do this? Who do I think I am?
All of the above, right? That's all the fears because you're in this career for so long. And now, most likely, you have people depending on you, a partner, children, other older parents that you're taking care of, whatever it might be. And you feel like, who are you to wreak havoc in this world that you've created? And there's a lot of that. I'll just wait. I'll just wait till the kids are out of the house. I'll wait till this perfect time. I'll suck it up. I hear that a lot from women that I speak to. Oh, I can just suck it up a little bit longer. And that's where I just want to reach through the computer and shake them and say, you get one life. There's one chance to really be happy and create what you want. And you've already worked, you've already created all these skills and accolades and experiences that you can pivot and transition into something else and at least explore it. At least start to think about what else you'd want to do before you just poo it off to the side. I think that's really important to allow yourself to, you deserve it. Think about it. I often say, just turn inward, ask yourself, are you happy? What would make you a little bit happier? And then go from there. And it's scary. It's absolutely scary to make any kind of change, but I really work with women to make that change very methodically so that it's seamless and you're confident the whole way through.
I had that pull, which is really, isn't that our soul, our intuition that's calling us to go follow our passion?
Absolutely. And I had that as well. There was something telling me it's okay to leave this and look for what's next. Even if you don't know what it is, take that time to find out. And so some women have that pull and push it away, that little voice in their head, but they just push it away. Others might feel it and know they want to move forward, but they don't know how to do it in a way that won't wreak that havoc. And then some are just like unhappy, but not willing to think about what else they can do because that just thinking about it is scary. So there's all those scenarios.
When someone comes to you for a second act career, how do you get them to start thinking about this? And what are the steps that they need to take?
Oh, great question. And it's different for everyone. And I acknowledge that. I am certified in YouMap, which is a career assessment, personality kind of assessment. So I start with a YouMap with all of my clients, and it just shows your personality, your values, your strengths, your skills, so that what you're good at and what you like to do, so that when you move to that second act career, you're not just jumping to a new path, doing the same thing you already do that makes you unhappy. It really directs you. So I do that at first, and then we start looking at all of the options that you're thinking about. And I've had clients come to me with 10 plus ideas, and we start really researching each idea. And as you research and you really see what the day-to-day of starting that business looks like or changing to that different career field looks like, you can cross things off your list where you say, oh, that doesn't sound like that's something I want after all. And I think when you whittle it down, now you're looking at one or two options and you do that research and you have those informational interview calls and you really gain that confidence to take that next step. And I think that research equals confidence. And when you're confident, you can go to your partner, your friends, your family who think you're a little nuts for wanting to make this change, and you can show up differently. You can show up confidently, and that shows to them that you know what you're talking about and you're not just frivolously leaping into something. You're learning before you leap. And then you're free to go because you feel like this is exactly what you can do. And most likely you're using your experience from your first act in a way. So you're shortening that gap, but you're still moving forward with years of experience behind you that's just coming with you to this new venture.
I love that. How do you have them find what their unique skills and talents?
With a coach, I think you save not only that time, you save that stress and that money because someone's directing you. Whereas for me, just thinking back when I was figuring out what on earth can a television producer do anywhere that's not in Hollywood or New York City. And I realized I've dealt with people, with agents, I've written scripts, I've done marketing, I've been in charge of budgets, I've hired. Like there's a lot of skills there. And I think that's where I like to work with clients to really dig in and really break down everything that you've done over the years and then separate it by what you enjoy and what you don't. because you can be really good at talking to people, but not want to do it anymore. And when you're leaping, you want to make sure that you are starting something that is fully what you want to be doing. And so the YouMap helps us that out. Or when we're just meeting, we're really diving into it. And I think there's a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness that comes about for people when they do take the time to look inwards and realize, I have been doing this. I've been leading this team for years. Maybe I can start my own business and hire again and be a leader. Because oftentimes when you're in that role from when you're 20 on, you're pigeonholed. You're in this position, this career title, and you don't realize that really there's so much else you can be doing when you're allowed that vision of what's more. And it's really having those conversations and seeing that your value is what you want it to be. And I think that just comes from those conversations and really digging in.
Something that is just like jumping out at me when you're talking about this is not only helping them find those skill set, but to get the confidence to go do it.
Yes.
The confidence, because you just mentioned all these things that you could do. And I can see that's what you're doing with these women. These are all your skill set. And this is the thing. When we have a unique ability or talent, it's something that we are so good at that we don't even think it's a big deal. But it's like the thing that makes us shine, right? But because it's easy, we think it's not a big deal. And is that what you do? You help point those kind of things out?
Absolutely. Because, you don't see it within yourself because you think, well, everyone else can do it too. And actually, it was funny when I first had my idea for Second Act, I was running my franchise. I was teaching children STEM education classes through my business. And I had customers say to me, oh, you must have been a wonderful elementary school teacher. What grades did you teach? And I would say, actually, I was a television producer. And it would spark this conversation of, wait, how did you go from that to this? I'm not happy at my job. Can you help me? And then my friends started asking me, and I saw that there were a lot of women, especially, that felt this way, like they weren't being fulfilled, that the job they picked at 20 was not fitting them in this midlife era. And they needed the direction. And then I realized, well, I had done it and I did it by myself, and it was very lonely. And how can I help other women see that they can do more and give them the confidence to leap and do that? And the confidence is the number one piece I think we all need to see that within ourselves and say, wow, I can not only change, but I can potentially help so many other people in whatever field I'm choosing to go in.
But it sounds like you help them create a business plan.
Oh, yeah. A majority of my clients or women who come to me want to take their experience and their skills, leave corporate and start a business using them. And that's what I can help them do, because it's back in television, we called them formats. We formatted what the show was going to look like. And so now I use these systems, which systems just change everything when you have great systems in place, but not only for my business, but to help others. And the resources, because why should you start and reinvent the wheel? Now I have a current client who is pitching this really amazing business idea. And I shared these resources with her of, here's how I've pitched in the past. Here are some templates you can use. And it's just helping them with systems that I put in place that they can now put in place and grow in their unique businesses as well.
Can you share a success story?
Yeah. One of my favorite ones is a woman who was local to me, young mom. She was a teacher. It was right after the pandemic. And she was like, I can't balance a young child and the hours of teaching. And it was just all too much. And she started her own sensory play business. So she did that on the side. And she came to me when the business was very new. And she said, I want to pivot where I can leave teaching and teach these sensory play classes to new moms and babies and toddlers. And she had gone through some post-pregnancy issues, and she really wanted to provide a space where new moms could come together and the babies and the toddlers can come together. And so she started building the business, and she eventually was able to quit her job and build that business even more. We really worked to make her kind of a presence in the community. And just this past fall, she opened a brick and mortar center. And now she offers not only classes, but she has co-working spaces for new moms so that the children are being played with and babysat in one side, and they're doing their work on their computers in the other. And it's just, it could bring me to tears to see the evolution of what she wanted when we began working together and now what she has. And I think a lot for her was that confidence piece too, of saying, you have this vision, keep writing it out. It's going to come. And it did. That's a
So
good example.
what a great idea, and so nice to have you there to help again with the confidence and helping her with the system and help her keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what a great gift she's providing now for the community.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's like she doesn't need me now. Like she's off and running. Like we chat now more as friends because she's off and running. And I owned a similar business for children and families, and I had a brick and mortar. So she'll say, "Oh my gosh, did you ever have this happen?" And I'm like, "Yep." So it's nice to find a coach too that is similar or has the background that you have or has done what you want to do, so that it's that much easier for you too. So for her, I was able to share so much of what I had gone through with mine to really help her get there faster too.
I love it. So is there anything else you want to share?
I'd love to share, just because I'm very proud of it. My book comes out this May 7th, and it's called Start Your Second Act. And it really talks all about my strategies and my systems, and exactly not just my story is just a small part of my transition, but how I work with my clients, and lots more examples of how you can make that change too.
So does it have some of the steps in there too that people?
It has the second act strategy is what I call my systems and my strategy that I teach. It has a whole section on YouMap. It really gives lots of examples from clients, and there's a free resource you can get on the book list if you go to startyoursecond.com. There's a free second act journal that you can download right now.
Oh, that's perfect. What a great resource. So how do people reach you? Okay.
Yeah, so the book is startyoursecond.com. My website is secondactsuccess.co. So everything is there. It's my coaching, free resources, my podcast, everything is there at secondactsuccess.co.
Oh, that's just perfect. Shannon, thank you so much for being here. It's gone by so quickly, but I just feel like we've learned so much from you.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Absolutely. Okay. And everyone, thank you so much for coming today. If you want to learn more about how to take charge of your life and live with more purpose and to reach your goals, that you visit joinsmartwomen.com, and you can become part of our community. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us so much. You can always leave a comment. I check them and I will respond to you. So until our next show, go out and live with more purpose, passion, and prosperity.